In this video, we're going to continue. We're going to make these straps and support pieces that go below the boiler. So I'm going to go to left viewport. I'm going to select the boiler. Make sure I have it selected. And unhide the blueprints. No. Okay, I'm going to control and click on the blueprint, and I'm going to hide unselected. And now I just want to get that boiler and Alt and X to make it transparent. Let's see if I can show you what goes on here. Oh, here we go. So we have these straps. They're 2 bolts. There's like a little oval capsule shape, and then there's a strap, and it goes across the other side. Just same thing on the other side, and it does it in a few locations. And I guess they mount some of the stuff to the train with that. So what we're going to do is we're going to make one. We'll make it right here, I guess, or right here where we can see pretty well. And then we're going to make copies and just manipulate them so that they fit the other parts. So I'm going to show you how to make one. And we'll do it right here. Since this is a flat piece, it'll be a little easier for me to show you here. Let's go to Create. We're going to go to Geometry, MVH Primitives, Tube Cap. There we go. And we're going to just come in here and click and drag out a tube cap. Let's make it 8. 8 segments. There we go. And right click, convert to editable poly. And W for move tool, we're going to shift and clone that with the move tool, just like that, as a copy. And let's go here. Let's attach the 2 tube caps now. So let's go to the top of the stack, attach, and click on the other tube cap. There we go. Edge selection. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's bridge that selection. Click bridge. There we go. And we can also do hit 2 on your keyboard for edge again. We can bridge these as well on top and bottom. One there, one there. That gives us the shape we want at the top. Let's do an edge selection here. Alt and R, Control Shift and E to divide that. Let's go to perspective. Okay. I'm going to just pull this out so it's not in the middle of the boiler any longer. Make sure you're at the top of the stack so you have an object selection. Pull it out. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to get that boiler, make sure it's selected, Alt and X so I can see. There we go. And we're going to do something that we've done a few times in the videos before. We're going to select this section here. Let's name it Strap 01 so we have it named before we start modifying. Save your file. There we go. Okay. And we're going to use a conform brush to get it to conform to the side of the boiler. So with it selected, we're going to click on Surface. Click on that button, which would say Pick if we didn't have the boiler selection selected. Click on the boiler. You see it says Boiler, 0.01 offset. Let's go to Conform Brush. Options are set well, so we're just going to brush that to the surface just like that. And that's it. That's done. And now, because we have the boiler selected, we can use edge selection and select these 2 edges. And now what we're going to do is just extend them. Let's see. Sorry about that. So if we go here to extend and we shift and drag, can't do 2 at once to best of my knowledge as of yet. With extend, you can shift and drag, and then you can hold shift, control, and alt, and you can manipulate the vertices still with the tool selected. And now if I simply click from a corner without hitting shift, I can add another polygon. And what we're going to do is slowly, well not slowly, quickly hopefully, is shift and drag this edge. Do it a couple times. Try to keep your spacing relatively even. And I think we want to go roughly to the midpoint at the bottom of the boiler. Okay, and you can see I'm not lined up perfectly straight, but I'm not so concerned because we can fix that. Let's do 2, F3. I think we're about roughly at the middle. Okay, so now I'm going to come here and just click from the corner outward. So I'm left clicking and dragging from the corner. I'm going to do that right down the line, just like that. We'll wait till we're at the middle as well. And we can adjust the spacing and the crookedness of this line to make it better. Okay, it's just a quick way to interactively make that part. Let's do a loop selection right there, Alt and L, and make planar, along the X, third time's a charm. We'll do the same right here, Alt and L, make planar along the X. Let's deselect the ones that are inside that clamp just for now. X, and let's shift that out just like that so it lines up with the edges that we excluded. Let's do a loop selection here, planar along the X, and move them so that they align to where they should be again. They're a little bit off from where they were. Just like that. F3, okay. There we go. Let's add a shell modifier and add some thickness. I think right now we have an inner mount. Let's just right click it and maybe come out a little bit first. Go in a little bit. There we go. Out a little further. And add a turbo smooth just to see how it looks. F4. Okay, it looks pretty good. It's a little wide down here, but we're going to fix that right now. So let's just, that loop we still have selected, we're going to just deselect the last edge before the clamp, and we're going to just manipulate it inward like that. Alt and L for loop selection on the other side, and do the same thing here. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit. I want to see what I'm working on. And we can make some adjustments. Let's just like that. Same thing here. Okay, let's bring it so it's squared off with the rest. And that doesn't look bad. That's more like what the reference looks like. Okay. So now that we have that piece, what we can do is we can mirror it along the center. Let's do that right now. So below the shell, we'll go down to Edit Poly, and in the modifier list, we'll go to Symmetry. Click on Symmetry along the Y. Nope, sorry, along the Z. Turn off Slice Along Mirror, and then we're going to extend the Symmetry modifier. Click on the mirror, and just pull that. And you can see at the bottom here, let's see, F3. I'm going to Alt and Q to isolate that a little bit. Let's turn off the shell and the turbo smooth. You can see that we have like a little problem with the edges overlapping. So what you can do is go down to Edge and toggle End Result and grab some verts. And you can now manipulate these, and you'll see where they kind of even out to the point where they're aligned, just like that. That's because there's symmetry there. Turn on the shell and the turbo smooth, F4. And you can see now that goes to both sides. Let's exit isolation. It should roughly encompass the whole boiler. And if it doesn't, we can just slightly move that symmetry modifier again. Just outward and check it. And now what we can do is come back here and go to edge selection. Grab this edge and then do a loop selection. Remember, when we're toggling end selection, toggling end result, we can see the end result as we work on it. And then I just pulled it, and you can see the symmetry affected it. F3. And now we see that that strap is perfectly on the surface on both sides, just as it should be. What we'll do now is you'll adjust the size of these holes. We'll do this right now, and because we're on a symmetry mesh that has symmetry right here, we're gonna turn off toggle end result, go to border, F3, there we go. We'll take these two and we're gonna scale them a little bit locally. So click local on the rollout, just do that. That's better. I thought the holes look a little too big for what these are doing. And that's perfect. So what we're going to do now is you guys are going to be in charge of either cloning this to other locations according to the blueprint or making new ones. You can repeat the process because there are some angles here. So whatever works best for you. And lastly, you'll put some bolts in these holes here, just nuts and bolts so that they look like they're attached. And I'm going to have that done by the next video. And when I start the next video, we're going to make some little support trusses that go below the boiler. Every so often they're there, and they kind of connect the boiler to the chassis. So I'm going to pause the video, and we'll pick it up there.